started. Morning, everyone. Okay, so let's go to the Harmonic Scanner. Now, everybody has this available as part of their package. I need to start screen sharing, sorry. Just share screen here. Okay, and we've got recording. Okay, so everybody in IM has the Harmonic Scanner. You go to, it's part of your package. You go into your im.center, then you go to strategies on the left-hand menu, click on that, and this will bring you to all the products that you've got here. You want this one, the Harmonics. This was created by Christopher Terry, $200 million trader, the founder of this company 6 years ago. A unique invention. It gives you 200 trade setups a week, and the educators are listed here, and there's over 19 hours on Go Live TV. I follow Chance and Samantha, who do this specific strategy Harmonic Scanner with pitchfork, so I'll just show you at the end how to put that on. So once you've clicked on Harmonic Scanner, it will bring you to here. And down here, on the left-hand side, you've got the tools that you can use. And then on this side, you've got all the brokers and the different time frames. So I use the H1 and sometimes the H4 because I'm looking for a scan of a minimum of 80 pips. Take your measurement tool from there to there, C to D. That says 2339, that's called a pipette, the decimal point to the right of the decimal point. So this is 233 pips. Take off the last one, so that's good. And then I like to see that it has broken by 20 pips, which it has, it's done 50. And this is, you can take any of these brokers. It doesn't matter which broker you use can use any of these. Trader's Way is the feed for the Harmonic Scanner. I usually start with that one, but this one is a JFEX one. I also have an account with them, and also Oanda and Osprey, but you can, do different brokers, and it really doesn't matter. So just look at these and work out which ones you want to take. Now, the beauty of the Harmonic Scanner is, as you can see, it will give you a stop loss, an entry, a take profit 1, take profit 2, and a take profit 3. All well and good. Now, these scans disappear off the bottom end, and once they've gone, then you can't get them back. So I like to draw the ones I want to keep onto my trading view, and then I put a pitchfork on, which gives me a trend lines in effect, which means I can trade off multiple trades, and that's what I've been doing this morning. So let's see how we draw this. Now, first of all, you go down to your time zone. You must have it on your local time zone. Take a pad and pen. I always write it down so I can check what I'm doing. So this says UTC +2, but I'm on Paris time, so I click on UTC +1. If you're trading out of London, you want to click on UTC for London. So I click on that, and it must line up with your time zone on TradingView. Now, the next thing you do is take your vertical line and go to your X point. There are two ways of drawing the scan on. It's simply connecting the dots and copying and pasting it, but it does need to be accurate, then it's valid valid forever. So X is going to be 31st of the 1st at 12. You can see at the bottom that it is giving it to you an American date stamp, 0131. We usually say 3101, 31st of Jan. So that's the X point. Move to the A point, write it down, A, 31st of the 1st at 2200 hours. B is the 2nd of the 2nd at 2300 hours. C is 3rd of the 2nd at 0100, and then D finally is 23rd sorry, the 3rd of the 2nd at 1100 hours. Okay, so once you've got that written down, then go over to your trading view, and we want GBP NZD on the hourly, because you need to copy and paste it on the same time frame. You might have taken it off the 15 minutes, so you want to make sure it's on the 15-minute when you go to your trading view. So we'll go to GN. Don't think I have. Yes, I have got that one up. So there we are. And we go to the hourly. Here's the hourly. You can see other scans that I've got on here, but don't let this confuse you. So on the settings, I'll just take some of these down, so we're not looking at these. And let's just, I could hide them on, you can use the object box and hide some of them. Let me take that off there, and that one. Okay, so here we have it on the hourly. Just magnify this a bit more for you, and just fade out. You don't need to look at these unless old ones, unless price is coming back into them, and they are very tradable forever once you've got them. So okay, we're on the hourly. Now there are 2 ways of drawing your scan on. Firstly, you can just look at the highs and lows and draw them on from there. And secondly, you can take the brush. It just depends, and mark the points. So it just depends visually how you like to work. So for the purposes of this, I'll take the brush. So we want to find on the hourly the X point, 31st of the 1st at 12. So come to the left, click on your brush, take your vertical line, 31st at 12. There's 10, 11, 12. Let's just go back to the scanner so you can see it there. There it is on the hourly at 12. So that's what we're looking for. GN, 31st at 12, and you can see that those candles look very the same as, and just put a brush mark there. So I haven't done that very big. I'll do a bigger one so you know where to come back to. That's that blue one. The A point, so you're looking for highs to lows when you're drawing scans. 31st of the 1st at 22. That's going to be here, and you can see that looks like it's the high point. You're looking for the next low point, which is the 2nd of the 2nd at 23. And you can see that is the next low point. You can tell that visually, low to high to low. C, the 3rd of the 2nd at 01, which is there. And then finally the D point, 3rd of the 2nd at 11, which is there. So having done that, you then come back to your left-hand menu. You can see this one is the 5-point scan icon. It's the X, A, B, C, D. Now when you click on this, and I've just clicked it, don't click at the moment. It's going to give you 5 clicks on your mouse. So you're going to click across each of these points just once, and then move it to the next point. And you must have your magnet on so that it sucks to the wick of the candle. It must be done precisely. So you want to check at the bottom that you're on your 31st of the 1st at 12. You can see I was on 11 there. I'd forgotten it's this blue one. There we are. That's clicked on the 12. Don't click again until you're up here, and that will bring you up to the 31st at 22. So wait till your mouse moves across. There you are on the 22. That's one more click. Then to the B point, the second of the second at 23, which is there. Then the C point, third of the second at 01, which is there. That's the fourth click. And the fifth click, finally, pull it down here to that wick and click there. So now you've got your scan on. And what I usually do is just check that it looks similar. So there it is. Yes, it looks similar. That looks good. So come back to that. And I like to do my new scans in pink. I change them to green if I'm fading them out for an old scan. Then go to your object box at the bottom and just tidy up. You don't need those brush marks, so I just find it best to tidy up as you go along, and then it doesn't make the charts messy. And once I finish drawing them on, I then lock them on, because they must be accurate. Because if you're just a pip or two out, it doesn't seem like a lot, but over a period of time, it means that the angles could be going out by as much as 50 or 60 pips, and that would make it very untradeable, and you would not be happy with the results in your account. So having done that, you want to put a pitchfork on, which is up here, this pitchfork sign on the left. Click on that. You just want the simple one, the top one that says pitchfork. You can see I've got it marked as a favorite. Click on that, go back to your X point, keep your magnet on, and come to your X point, 31st at 12, and then it's X to C to D. And sorry, I had that on green. I'll just make it white and bring the color up. And you can see that's gone on, X to C to D. That's your first pitchfork. If ever you draw a second pitchfork, you put the point out there, and that's X to A, but that's a bit more advanced, and it goes the opposite way from the original one, but we won't get into that today. So having done this, you need to go to the smallest time frame in order to make sure that the points are accurate, because this is one 60-minute candle. And if you go down to the 1 minute, then of course you've got 60 candles sitting within this, and you want it to the nearest low or high point. And if your scan, TradingView will only go back 2 weeks. So if it's a big scan with the point that's further back than 2 weeks, you won't be able to see the point. So the point down here, the time point. So you need to put it on the lowest you possibly can, the 5 minutes. So if it's a big scan going back over 2 weeks, then I do the beginning bit in 1 minute as much as I can, and then go to the 5 minute. So keep your magnet on, drop to the 1 minute, take your magnifier so we can zoom in so we can see it clearly. And then this is the only fiddly bit, and you do get faster the more of them that you do. So just bear with it really, because it's worth, as I've said, doing accurately. Then you've got very tradable scans. So that's our D point here, and we want the nearest one to 11, and you can see that green one is slightly lower, so I'm going to go for that one. Doesn't matter about this pink one's just giving you the shape, but you may as well, I usually do put it on the actual point, but it's the pitchfork that you want on the clearest point. I usually lock these on as I go, because I have slid things off before as well. But obviously you've got to take it off, take the lock off. Let me show you this here before we move on. So there you can see you've got a choice. So you want the highest one there, and once you've locked that on, you're good to go. There we are, that looks nice. Down to your B point here, that looks good, that hasn't slipped, that isn't off anyway. And then just go to there's your A point. Now the A point doesn't matter quite so much, there's no pitchfork on it, but you can see it should really be just sort of up there. The nearest high point is what you're looking for, and if they look similar, then just go back to your left hand menu, go on here and choose a horizontal line and draw that on, and then you should be able to see which one is wicking through higher than the other. but I wouldn't go over there because the nearest time point is this point here. So just, you know, use logic for that. And then down here on our X point, that looks pretty good to me anyway. 31st at 12. So that's still on, that looks on point exactly. So once I've done that, then I go back here and I lock them on, go back to the objects, the little pile there in the corner, and then I lock on the pitchfork and the scan, and now take off the zoom, go back to the Owly, and there you are, you're good to go. So that's your scan drawn with your pitchfork, and then you can see that it crosses a quarter point there. This is quite an interesting new scan set up for now, which we won't go into actual trading, but what you're looking for once you've done this is to take a trade, something like this. You're looking for it to break and retest that point. I am on the 15-minute, I should be doing that on the 1 minute, but that's what you're looking for there at the moment. It seems to be testing quarter theory. So that's how you use scans. And then unless it's a very big scan, I take a buy up to the median point, this midline. And then after that, once it's touched that, I'll be taking buys and sells. And if I look at a trade, I've just taken off, I was in EN, I've just taken off all the marks, but if I go back, I can show you what I was doing. Should let me go back. So I didn't have anything on, that's on the 1 minute. I didn't have anything on any of the tools where I could take a trade. I had this purple line, which is a pitchfork here. I've just done 10 pips on this. That's the highest I can get it for you. And quarter theory. Once these are my indicators. Once the 62 moving average had crossed below the 15, I took a little trade here. That's when I moved my stop loss of 10 pips to stop profit for a risk-free trade. I followed it down. I created a channel, and I got out at 10 pips, which was here, this point here. I got out there because it was at 10 to the hour, and at 10 to the hour you tend to get a fake back up to the other side, and indeed that's what happened after I got out, and then it's carried on its way down. I did think it would go down to quarter theory, but I didn't want to stay in the trade. I was happy with the 10 pips, having just done 22 pips on GBP USD sell. So that was me purely using pitchforks and quarter theory, taking a trade when there isn't anything available on any of the other tools. So I hope you found that helpful. I'm just going to stop sharing, and now I will stop recording. And thank you very much for joining me today.